All right. So apparently Linus came out with some new Linux videos. Let's see if he does better this time. So I watched all of the ones he did a couple of years ago. I actually haven't seen any of the new ones. Only reason I found out about it was because I saw somebody else that had posted a video of it. So
Copilot,
let's take a
you
look.
need to opt out. Windows update. You will own nothing and be happy.
Oh, thank goodness it was just a dream. For a second there, I thought Windows really was getting worse.
It wasn't a dream. I'm sorry. I was just scared for my privacy. I didn't want to sleep in my own bed anymore.
What are you doing here?
I heard that Linus was going to save us.
Linux, Elijah, not Linus. He does have a valid concern, though. With Microsoft adding more and more bloat that negatively impacts the user experience and user privacy on Windows, more people than ever are asking themselves, what can I do? Well, there's those Windows debloating scripts, but those aren't quite the silver bullet that they're made out to be. And there is Mac, but that's not a great solution for gamers. That is where Linux comes in. As the rest of the world enshittifies, thanks to the...
So Mac is great for their UX, their ecosystem, having everything like tuned in together. You know, you going from like your iPhone to your MacBook to like your Apple TV and stuff like that, being able to transfer one thing to the other, and like just having all of your stuff on all of your devices. Like Mac is great for stuff like that. But yeah, as he said, gaming, it's
incredible
not great.
Open source community and corporate sponsors like Valve. Linux just keeps getting better. And I think it's high time that I try once again to make the switch. And he's joining me. Hey, Elijah, wake up, let's go.
What? But tons of games I play don't work on Linux.
Sure, but there's thousands of titles that do work. And besides, it's only a month. That is unless you discover that you love it so much. It's only
games I play don't work on Linux.
Yep. So Battlefield 6 does not. Some of the Battlefield games actually do work. If I remember correct, I believe Battlefield 1 still works. And some of the ones before then still work. Before they implemented like their EA hardened anti-cheat on there. PUBG does not work. Valorant and all Riot games do not work. There's a few others like Apex Legends, Fortnite, a few others here and there, but yeah, primarily those are going to be the big ones. Rainbow Six Siege, a few others like that.
Sure, but there's thousands of titles that do work. And besides, it's only a month. That is unless you discover that you love it so much, you don't even want to play Fortnite anymore.
Oh yeah, gotta love that sponsorship. Yes, do as I
The
say.
first and possibly biggest hurdle when it comes to embracing that.
Okay. So the yes do as I say thing is actually a callback to his first Linux challenge. When he was trying to install Pop OS or install Steam on Pop OS, he had a very odd, very weird bug that he happened. So for whatever reason, while trying to install Steam, it was a specific bug in Pop, and he went through the terminal to try to install. And anytime you see on Linux, yes, do as I say, very, 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 very crucial that you make sure that you know exactly what you're doing, because anytime you see that, a lot of times that means, hey, you're about to do some crazy stuff, which he didn't know that. There was a warning, but you know, there was no like big red flags or anything like that. If for somebody new that, you know, they're just going to type yes do as I say to try to get the computer to do what they want, right? So
the first and possibly biggest hurdle when it comes to embracing that open source life is the overwhelming number of options. Now, for some folks, the idea of having so many choices, each catering to a specific user or use case, is amazing. And it is, especially if you love to tinker. But for everyone else, choice paralysis is a real thing, and with literally dozens of viable options for Linux distros, not to mention the social pressure that comes from picking the wrong one, it can be a major turnoff. Last time we did this, over 4 years ago, I called out how terrible these listicle sites are. And so did many others in the Linux community. And right out of the gate,
Chris, these are just
I've watched Chris for a long time. Chris is good people.
Options. I don't expect much from this article.
Mike.
Let's have a look and see if they've improved. Oh, XDA's article is from less than a month ago, though.
They're
and
terrible.
Of course, the very first one is one I haven't even heard of. Nobara Linux.
Nobara is
Fedora, great. Quality of life tweaks. Controller support out of the box.
So Nobara is actually created and maintained by not just him, but there's a team, but primarily by Glorious Eggroll, the one who makes the custom Proton GE. He does a great job with it. He does a great job with the distro. Great, gaming-centric, gaming-focused distro, things like that. They have a couple different spins of it, with different desktop environments and things like that.
Quality of life tweaks.
But Nobara's solid.
Controller support out of the box. Pop OS. Fedora is on here. OpenSUSE.
Okay, so Pop OS a couple of years ago.
Box. Pop
Yes, Pop OS was great, and it's still okay. But they're still in the process of developing their new desktop environment, Cosmic, which I'm sure the Pop OS guys will tell you. I've actually tried it a number of times. It's good. It's still like very early, so there's a bunch of bugs here and there, as opposed to like the more air quotes stable ones like GNOME, like KDE or XFCE, some of them. But Cosmic has great potential. They're making good strides with it, but unless you're like ready to be a beta tester, I would stay away from Pop OS right now. That's just me personally. But hey.
OS? Fedora is on here. OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. Catchy OS.
All right, so Tumbleweed. I love Tumbleweed. That's what I use. This is a really old screenshot, it looks like, that they used. Because this is showing a picture of Yast, which is their old control center on OpenSUSE. Yast is actually deprecated, and they're in the process of creating their new suite, I guess you could say, that's to replace Yast. Because Yast 2 is old, it's outdated, it's deprecated, it's not being actively maintained anymore.
OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. Catchy OS. This I've heard of. Endeavor
Catchy's
OS,
pretty good.
Ubuntu. Good lord, you've Catchy OS.
Let's back up real quick.
Fedora's on here.
Fedora's fine.
OpenSUSE box.
So Fedora,
Pop OS.
I didn't even see Fedora the first time. Okay, so Fedora is great. It's more minimalistic than what Nobara is. Nobara is actually built off of Fedora. Glorious Eggroll uses Fedora as a base, makes some changes and stuff, throws in some, gaming tweaks and things like that, and that's how he makes Nobara. Fedora's good if you're more of a quote-unquote maybe technical person and you want to do everything yourself or learn while you're doing. Fedora would be a great option. There's lots of people out there that love Fedora.
Is on here.
I already spoke on Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed. Catchy OS.
Catchy's very much so the new kid on the block when it comes to the gaming distros, it seems like, but a ton of people like it, a ton of people love it. It has gaming focused tweaks, very, very good. If you want to just get set up right out of the box and go, Catchy's
This
great.
I've heard of. Endeavor OS. Ubuntu. Good lord, you've hardly narrowed it down, bud.
Ubuntu's
Fedora
fine.
KDE. Straight up, that's it.
Ubuntu's
no
fine,
pros and
but
cons of anything
Ubuntu's
else,
not
just
what it
go
used to
for
be.
it.
But it's
Unless
still
you're going
fine.
handheld, then Bazite. I'd really like a distro I can use across all my devices, though. So that's AMD, NVIDIA, handheld, and desktop. And we'll see if that happens. Pop
Okay,
OS.
so he made a comment there that he wants to use it across all his devices. Desktop being both AMD and NVIDIA. I think he said handheld as well. Nobara actually would be a really good choice considering that. They have both NVIDIA and AMD versions of their ISOs, as well as a handheld. Another one that would be great too is Bazite. Bazite has those same builds as well. That is actually pretty easy, and it's actually pretty good for new people, in my opinion, from what I've seen.
There's
I've never used it
little
myself.
overlap on these. I'm on my 4th article now, and
Pop's
3 of
not
the 6
bad.
options are ones.
Do not use SteamOS. Do not use SteamOS. Do not use SteamOS. Valve strictly makes SteamOS for the Steam Deck and other handheld devices. Don't try to use SteamOS on your desktop. Do not. It will very much so not be great experience.
That I haven't seen.
Very,
yet.
very
Hull
bad.
ISO, Garuda Linux,
Garuda's
and
fine.
Manjaro.
Manjaro's
of course,
okay.
Googling the answer is basically boomer behavior now. If I wanted to do my thing, and I want to role play as a typical tech-interested gamer who's looking to make the switch, I gotta fire up ChatGPT and see what OpenAI has to say on the subject.
Old Jippity.
Giving it an essay there?
Well, I'm giving it as much information as I feel it needs to give me a good recommendation.
I want to make this.
I want to make
the switch to Linux. I have a variety of PCs, each with different needs, and ideally, I could find a distro that will work across all of them. 2x desktop PCs, mostly for single-player online multiplayer gaming and web browsing. A handheld gaming PC with integrated controller. Theater room PC. Laptop I use mostly for work. So yeah. So what I was saying before, Nobara would be great. Bazite would be great. If he wants to use the exact same distro on all of his devices, those two would probably be like my number one recommendation for him. Well, one of those. If he wanted to use, because they have spins for all of those that he's wanting to do, for theater, for handheld, and for desktop/laptop. The only like kind of caveat would be like if you have a handheld that you're wanting to do, you know, maybe you don't care about having the same one on handheld. There's oodles of other choices that you could do, but those two for what he's wanting would be great.
Linux. I have a variety of PCs, each with different needs, and ideally I could find a distro that works for all of them. Recommendation number 1, Pop! OS.
No.
Ubuntu
No.
LTS
No,
with game
dear
mode.
God, no. No.
Maybe
No.
not the greatest recommendation if it doesn't know what hardware I'm using. Right,
Yeah.
right there. Cons. You have to manually install drivers sometimes.
That's so Ubuntu. One thing Ubuntu does actually do a really good job of, and there's a few others that do too. They make installing the like NVIDIA drivers specifically really easy. They have their own proprietary software in there called Driver Manager that you can go in and just select the ones that you want to install. It's super easy. The problem that I have here is it recommending the LTS version. LTS versions are really old. I'd stay away from them if you're like wanting like a super up-to-date gaming system. If you want just stability and like you want something to work, LTS distros are great for that. But when it comes to like strictly for gaming and stuff, like if you want to have like an overall system, like maybe with a little bit of gaming, it'll be fine. You'll be able to play stuff. But if you want to like try to squeeze all the performance you can out of your system with like the new hardware and all that, yeah, I would stay away from LTS distros personally.
Manjaro comes up again.
Manjaro's fine.
Starts giving me a
What the
whole
hell
like,
is Fedora gaming
Manjaro
spin?
comes up again. Fedora.
What the hell is Fedora gaming spin? I've never heard of that. I mean, Fedora's got a crap ton of spin, so it doesn't surprise me.
Starts giving me a whole like how-to for some of the systems. Tips for smooth multi-machine use. Use a single desktop environment and the same one across different machines. Bottom line, Pop! OS. I don't know if I'm sure about that.
I wouldn't go with Pop! OS right now.
My approach was to go to Reddit, and I wanted to find someone that fit a similar profile as me, and I just basically searched for what got the most updates. But when I narrowed it down to gaming distros, there was really only a handful that were commonly recommended to me these days. Manjaro, Chimera OS, CachyOS, Bazite, and Pop! !_OS. If your preferred flavor wasn't on that list, I promise it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that I didn't come across many recommendations for it. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of those 5.
Chimera OS is cool, but seems to prioritize being more of a console-like experience, which is not really what I'm
guess
going
so.
for.
I've never
and
used
the same
Chimera,
goes
so I don't
for
know.
SteamOS. I mean, it's still the one that I think is most
Once again,
likely.
SteamOS is made specifically for the Steam Deck and handhelds that Valve works with. Do not try to put SteamOS on your desktop PC. It will not be a good experience.
To usher in the year of the Linux desktop, and Valve has promised to continue chipping away at the desktop experience, but it's still very much big picture first. Not to mention that the limited hardware support is going to be a challenge for, 90% of desktop users, including my downstairs PC, which I'm also migrating this time to ensure that my immersion is complete.
For Manjaro and CachyOS, both based on Arch by the way, Manjaro's been around for several years at this point, meaning there's tons of documentation online, or other independent YouTubers have made videos and guides.
I know
it
there's
would
a lot
make
of people who
hopefully
feel
getting
some type
things
of way
working
about
nice
it,
and
but
easy.
it's
CachyOS is relatively new, but because it's new, it kind of has the same thing. Tons of people are covering it and making guides online about using it. Both of those could be a bonus for helping.
So Cachy falls into the what everybody likes to call the gaming distros, quote unquote. So you have Cachy, Pika OS, Nobara, and Bazite are generally the like gaming focused distros. Any distro can game pretty much unless it's like a lightweight one, and then you still might even be able to through emulation and whatnot. However, these just make it much easier out of the box to do gaming. That's it. They usually will have like Steam and stuff already pre-installed for you, which it's not hard to install Steam. They usually have a more curated experience to get going out of the box. Any other distro, pretty much, you can do the same thing. You just will have to do it yourself. That's it.
Helping me get through this month.
Like I mentioned before, Pop! OS screwed me over pretty good last time. Though, from my understanding, that was an insane bug that was present for less than 24 hours, and I just happened to run up against.
It was a crazy
bug. It's known to provide a very friendly experience for new users, and it uses Ubuntu as a base, which can make it a little easier to find guides and other resources.
Last but not least, there's Bazite, which is explicitly gaming first and has gained serious momentum over its short 3-year history thanks to the baked-in support for HDR and variable refresh rate, easy integration with non-Steam launchers, and emulation-friendly features. It's based on Fedora, which doesn't quite have the same normie install base as Ubuntu, but it is still a major distro, meaning hopefully it shouldn't be too hard to find support again.
On the subject of support, there's no real reason that Elijah and I would have to figure any of this out on our own. We could easily use our industry contacts to get help with everything from choosing a distro to even getting a bug fix implemented in real time. But to me, that kind of ruins the spirit of the challenge. I mean, it's not like the average person would be able to contact Linus Torvalds for help recompiling the kernel, you know?
With all of that in mind, I'm going with Bazite. Specifically, the KDE desktop environment.
Bazite's solid.
1, it's the cool new kid on the block. 2,
you can see, so right here on their website with Bazite, you can literally choose which hardware you're using. So desktop, handheld, theater. You can choose which GPU manufacturer you have, which desktop environment, which he's going with KDE, which is like kind of a more of like a Windowsy-ish feel to it to start with. And then for the Steam gaming mode, you literally tell it this, and it'll give you the ISO that you download to install. It's super simple. There's a few others that do this similar like this as well. It's great.
Desktop environment. 1, it's the cool new kid on the block. 2, Bazite's documentation seemed slightly easier to parse through, which for me is a huge W. And 3, while it might be a little bit more limiting than CachyOS, which several people warned me about, those same people did tell me that it was a little bit easier for a first timer. I think I'm gonna take that trade-off. Now, some of you may remember from my AMD upgrade 2 years ago, I actually installed Pop! OS at the end. Spoiler alert, I haven't been using it. I had an issue with my Go XLR, and I spent way too long trying to figure it out that I ended up defaulting back to Windows 11. It's also worth mentioning that I'm only going to be swapping over my gaming PC to Linux, not my streaming PC. I can't afford to have any issues with that, and right now, it just works. And besides, all I hit is go live anyways. But who knows, if this goes well, maybe I'll be considering swapping that one over.
I, on the other hand, will be converting all of my PCs, which means that I need something that's compatible with both GeForce and Radeon GPUs. I will be converting all of my PCs to, yeah, that's where the script ends.
Once again, most any distro will be fine.
I'm going with Pop! OS. Just because it blew up on me once doesn't mean it'll
most any distro will be fine.
I'm gonna follow ChatGPT's recommendation here. I'm gonna start with one machine, get everything going the way that I want it, and then assuming that that goes well, I'm gonna stick with Pop! OS. Okay, so who nailed this? ChatGPT got the way I was already leaning. Pop! OS was the first recommendation from Interserver,
if he's going Pop, then he's not going with what he said he wanted.
Okay.
That he wanted it across all devices.
Drive me, daddy.
A new phone.
What, you guys started without me? My side of this challenge probably won't be quite as bad as Linus's, since I've been using Arch on my laptop for a while now, by the way, and I've gotten pretty comfortable with it. That being said, my use case on my laptop is fairly limited, so this is an expansion forward. I'm in, and I'm going with CachyOS. The whole reason why I've been running Arch on my laptop was to try to demystify and defang the scary experience of Linux for some people, because I wanted to show, like, look, I'm gonna put very little effort into this, to be completely honest, and I expect it's mostly gonna go okay. But the reason for that was because my experience was limited mostly to a browser. So I kind of want to continue the Arch experiments but in a way that the community is mostly flagging right now as better for gaming, which is going the cachy direction. I still love Linux Mint, still use it in a couple spots
Mint's
here
great.
or there.
That's what I use over
because
here
I find it
on this
so
PC.
like easy to get set up and going. But I know there was some comments under last challenge about my choice of Linux Mint on like, oh, it's not as updated as other things or blah, 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 because the Linux.
That is true. Linux Mint is while they do update it a little bit more than some of the LTS distros, Linux Mint still has a lot of older packages like other LTS distros, because Linux Mint is built off of Ubuntu LTS. But at the same time, if you're not wanting like super crazy performance, you're not trying to get every little inch out of your system, then it's fine. It works as a general distro that you can work perfectly fine with. I have a buddy who's used Linux for almost 10 years now, and that's all he uses.
Community loves to just scream about stuff all the time. I wouldn't dissuade you from choosing it. I'm just kind of doing an experiment thing with Arch and enjoying it right now. So I'm going to continue on to Cachy OS, and hopefully it goes fine.
It is 8:03, and I am just about to start my Bazite installation. Here we go. Insert. Oh wait, crap, I gotta put the SSD in. But hey, you guys like my new server rack? Ah, it's pretty cool. And Linus made fun of me saying I'd never see it again in the server rack case. Now, some of you might actually ask why I'm ripping out both of my drives in my computer, when Windows is probably only installed on one. Well, one thing I won't miss about Windows is there's this really weird bug. Sometimes when you rip out one drive, after you've installed it with two in it, it will show up in the boot option in the BIOS, but it will just fail to boot. I don't know how that is still a bug on Windows 11, but hey, I won't have to deal with that with Bazite, hopefully.
I have Cachy OS on this flash drive ready to go, but I ran into a problem. My motherboard has an M.2 slot here, an M.2 slot here, here, and here. But I didn't build my system. I don't know where my current drive is installed. It should be installed here, but it was built by Linus's kid, so I have no idea.
Ooh.
And my problem is, that's my system. This is the Bulbasaur PC, right? Getting to the M.2s behind this GPU is going to be insane. Doing that without completely destroying my computer is not really possible.
Like horrible
so
to do any type of
this one
maintenance
little
on.
strip, and there's no drive there, and everything will be fine. But if there is a drive there, I'm screwed.
For no reason other than that I'm a sucker for punishment, I've decided to do my upgrade to Pop! OS here at Whale Land. I just got to unplug my boot drive.
Why is he doing it at a convention?
An drive a little while back. I just got to disable secure boot, and then hopefully this is going to be completely painless, and I'll be gaming in like 15 minutes.
Why is he doing it at a convention?
And we're off to a great start. Select your drive, can't see it. Well, I put it in a known good slot. Turns out the drive is bad. Why are these challenges always cursed?
Downside of a multi-monitor setup, this is my primary monitor, so we're trying to boot into the BIOS right now. So we're gonna go into Fedora. Verifying shim sbait date failed. Something has gone seriously wrong. I've done nothing. Okay, I think I saw something related to secure boot.
I think that's a secure boot thing.
I'm gonna try disabling it.
Yeah.
This OS version workstation, it's past its end of life date. What? I downloaded it fresh from Bazite's website today.
Did he already
That's a scary warning. So I
system?
did take this drive from the office. I wonder if that's why it's showing up as LTT. Maybe I did happen to grab a drive from work that had Fedora. I won't mark that against Bazite then. That was 100% on me. Okay, we're
gonna say that looks
again. Hey, there we go.
Yep,
okay,
Bazite.
ISO. Yes, we want to go into live ISO just so I can do the install. Hey, there you go, little Bazite logo. Oh, this monitor lit up. Hey, there we go. Welcome to the live ISO for Bazite.
Yep.
How would you like to install? Oh yeah, so the drive I did grab had Fedora on it. I wonder if this was the drive
39.
I used in the Linus Torvalds video. Erase data and install. I will say, I think the default background's really pretty. I might actually keep that. Kind of matches the keyboard colors, you know? While I'm waiting for an install, I might as well do a merch plug. LTTstore.com. Oh God, I punched my other camera. LTTstore.com.
All right, no drive under there. You can see an empty slot. They didn't decorate over the screws. W Linus's kids. Gamer time. Welcome to Cachy OS. I used Rufus to flash my drive. I got the M.2 installed, and now we're here. So far, the hardest part was getting it to boot to the flash drive. I've been super interested in trying Hyperland, but I think I'm going to keep that for maybe something on my laptop or something that I'm more happy to just play with. I'm going to try to keep pretty much everything the same as what I'm used to except for Cachy OS and just see how it goes. You know what? Calling an audible. Let's give it a shot.
Gonna go ButterFS.
Lemonade, or how I first read it with my broken brain is Limelight.
Any of these
sounds cool.
Any of the boot
looks
managers
cool.
are fine.
Gonna go with Grub. I'm
Grub's
just
fine.
used to it.
Some of them
We're
have
in.
different features here
Everything
and
seems
there,
okay
different
so
tinkers
far.
and things like that you can do, but
Wonder how
overall
many times
it'll
Linus
be
has
fine.
bricked his install.
All right, now that I have a working drive, this is great. Prompted to set up encryption right out of the gate. You'll love to see it. Pretty painless setup so far. Don't need this. This looks fine. Ooh.
Yep.
We're in. Now I gotta play a game.
Oh, hey, there you go. Is a secure boot key added? Okay, well, let's do a reboot. I assume I just leave it on Fedora. What the frackle is this? Do I have to do the secure boot thing? Let's try this again. Error. You need to load the kernel first. Okay, maybe I should read the documentation. That's the error I was getting, so we're gonna use method B. Disable secure boot in the BIOS before proceeding and then re-enable it after enrolling the key. I have to enter a command in the host terminal? Oh, did I mess this up? You know what? I'm gonna try reinstalling it with secure boot enabled this time. And oh, maybe I don't want to do that. That takes so long.
That might
okay,
be a
well
Bazite
let's try reinstalling
universal
Bazite
boot
from the
thing.
beginning with secure boot on this time, and we'll see if something's different. All right, I've reinstalled
never
it.
used
Documentation
Bazite
says
myself,
to reboot,
and I
enroll
just
the
have secure boot
keys.
already
yes,
turned off,
it's just
but it looks like he's
universal
making
blue.
progress.
I think I enabled it. Hey, there you go. I feel like I just went in a circle, but we'll let it cook.
I think that will
we're
potentially
in.
cause
Okay,
problems
it did
for him when
detect
he goes
all
back to Windows,
three.
though,
I
if he
kind of have a
does.
weird one that's off to the side here, so I can like monitor chat when I do other stuff.
Yep, that's okay to E.
Oh, okay. Not right now, Steam. That's kind of cool. Got Steam pre-installed. That'll be nice. Maybe I'll get a game up and running like real quick.
All right, here comes the point where we tripped up last time. Well, that was painless. I'm almost there, but before I can game with this man, I'm gonna need voice chat. So we're getting Discord going. I already got Left 4 Dead 2 installed. Already there's some slightly icky things.
Yep, see
I have Discord.
that's part of Cosmic there, the little windows like on the bar down there at the bottom. For me, I'm just not a big fan of that where it shows like other open windows down there, but you know, it's fine.
Left
But
4 Dead
Cosmic
2
is
installed.
still
Already there's
very
some
early in
slightly
development.
icky things. I have Discord working, which is super cool. Really? All right, I'm ready to launch the game. What is this? What is this? The Linux curse might be coming for me. Wait, it magically healed itself. Magically healed itself. Well, this is messed up. I've got my Discord volume at 200%. I've got Luke's individual user volume at 170%. And I've got my system volume at 150%. And I can barely hear anybody. No, it's not you guys, it's me. I'm just experiencing Linux things. But hey, it could be worse. I could be that guy at a LAN who's not running his game in full screen. Sup, Rob? All right, just rebooted and no game volume whatsoever. What about like a YouTube video? Okay, that's loud. That's loud, that's a good sign. That is so bizarre. Okay, let's see if Discord is solved. If Discord's solved, we're good. And then Discord maybe just magically healed itself. What's up, gamers? Oh, we're good.
So did your audio just require a restart?
It's complicated. My system was set to like spit if out, so obviously that was why I was getting no audio in game, but that doesn't explain why I was getting extremely low audio in Discord.
Yeah, that's strange. It's that problem of like, why isn't this working? And then why is this working? It's like,
I'd rather have why isn't it working than why is it working.
A conflicting audio driver or something like
why
that.
did that change it? Do you see that? Since I have a dual PC set up in my server rack, this is my streaming PC that records. I was actually getting ready to record and it's not quite scaled correct. Like you can see I'm missing like half my taskbar. That was not a scaling thing.
Yeah,
this monitor is
because
not
it's
4K, so I'm a
Mine does the
little
same thing
confused on
before
why
I
it's
change
showing
it.
4K as an option. I do normally set to 120 hertz though. Well, it made everything. Oh, whoa! Why did that change it? Do you see that? It's scaled properly, but you know what scaled it properly is adjusting the frame rate. If I go to 140 on my OBS capture, it's not scaled right. But if I change it to 120 and apply it, now it's scaled appropriately. Like my scaling is the same, my resolution's the same. Now that I've got these displays configured, Steam looked like it was already installing, so let's double check that. Dude, are we gonna get
mismatching resolutions?
Going,
I think
like,
is what's causing that.
I
I'm not
know it's
mistaken.
not compatible. I'm still gonna download it because I want to try it. Okay. I won't blame any Bazite or Linux for it not working, but it's one of my go-to games right now. I need to test if PUBG is gonna work. Do I need to enable the
PUBG's
Proton compatibility later? Hey, it's enabled right away. Oh yeah, look, it like installed it right here. Yep. I guess while that's installing, maybe I can get some other apps going
now,
here.
which is great.
Hey, there it is. Oh, Discord is high risk. This app uses legacy X11 windowing system, which allows it to record all keystrokes, captures. It also has access to the internet, meaning it could send your data to outside parties. Ooh, this is very timely.
That's good that they
I need
put
Discord. So
it's good that they put something like that. There are some Discord alternatives that use Discord's backend on Linux. I think somebody said that they maybe or may not violate the TOS, so I'm not going to specifically say which ones, but there are others out there that you can use. Another version of Discord that you could use that is fine would be like the Flatpak version. So the Flatpak version is going to containerize everything, so that way it doesn't have access to things unless you give it access to certain things on your system. So like when you first pop up, it'll say you have to give access to your microphone or your camera or whatever, certain things like that. So if you're worried about it potentially stealing data and things like that, yeah, I would use the Flatpak version. Or one of the alternatives.
That warning, as scary as it probably seems to a lot of people, I think it is kind of a cool thing that they're letting you know that it might be risky. So if you're a non-experienced user going to download something, it could give you a heads up like, whoa, 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 just so you're aware. For Discord, we already know they're stealing all our data anyways. I don't know. Whoa, you can download Edge? Holy cow, you gotta be a psychopath. High risk. So let's go through audio while everything's installed.
Ironically,
really
I've seen a ton of people that use Linux and still use Edge.
The mic is going directly to the Rodecaster, and the Rodecaster should just pass out. Hey, it's being detected. Wow, that was really fast. Really? I'm gonna call my wife really quick. Hello, hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
I didn't have to configure anything. That's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, but hey, the fact that I didn't have to troubleshoot it makes me very happy.
Just installed it, instantly installed OBS. I had to restart my Rodecaster, but then it worked immediately. We'll see if the audio is fine. Seems like the audio was fine. Off to bigger and better things. So I'm gonna get Teams installed here because I need to do a work call. Well, the Teams call went fine, sort of. Teams is still a very annoying experience on Linux, regardless of what Linux flavor you go with. There's no official app. I was using the Teams for Linux open source community thing. It's like fine. There's
Teams for Linux
some kludginess here and there. It seems like most of the community agrees that the best way to do it these days is to just run it through the browser entirely, which I really don't prefer. But I'm going to keep fighting with Teams for Linux and see if I can get it working in a state that I would like. I would say with the install it real quick, sign in, and it works perfectly.
Yep.
No, not quite. But at least they're doing it. Not like Microsoft supporting it, so I appreciate the effort. Another thing that I would say is that gaming has been perfectly fine so far. Obviously, the Spire is working no problem. Gaming so far going okay.
Teams actually has
no major hiccups with anything as of right now.
Native client now.
I'll let you know if things change.
Well, Control-Alt-Delete doesn't do anything. Alt-Tab allows me to switch to things, but my mouse is not there. Like I'm hearing like like in my ears. This is so awesome. I managed to play a game for 20 seconds. I must just be cursed. I have to be cursed at this point. Okay, I managed to find this. I'm gonna try to end the process. Half-Life 2, I think. Is this, hello? Delete? Is that not gonna work? That's not gonna do anything? Yeah, I have 7 people waiting for me because I'm a special Linux snowflake right now. I don't understand why trying to do the most basicest of things, launch a Valve game on a fresh install, manages to be like this. I'm even on AMD, guys. I'm on AMD. I'm going back to Windows for now because this is just, it's not acceptable. I have to be able to play the game right now.
Okay, the last thing now, I think I'm just gonna game. Ooh,
that's weird.
It's got a borked rating. As of 2 weeks ago, someone said it's borked. So
yeah, PUBG is gonna be borked.
Yikes! I won't blame any Bazite or Linux for it not working. Judging by how long it's taking, that's not a good sign. A month without PUBG. Okay, well let's launch Balatro.
Balatro worked.
Hey, there we go.
All right, we finished the round. It's the next day, and I'm gonna see if I can figure out what the heck was going on there. Off to a great start. All right, I'm just playing single player now. Let's see how this goes. All right, this is how far I made it last time.
Now you are playing with power.
It just randomly crashes on it?
Try running it in Vulkan. Unfortunately, there's no in-game setting for it, but apparently this will do the trick.
Like you gotta break through this wall.
And there it is, that was the fix. Not complicated, but definitely frustrating when you consider that this is a first-party Valve title and the bugginess is
Yeah,
so
but the
immediately
game is
apparent when you try to play the
massively
game.
old, though.
And there's also
Massively,
apparently
massively
been an
old.
issue since at least July of last year. To be clear, none of this is meant to discount the experiences that other people have. It's just to also acknowledge that not everybody has such a seamless experience. With Left 4 Dead solved, our next challenge is going to be Helldivers 2. We're going to be playing with the VIPs. I've never played before, so I'm finding so much weird stuff, dude. It like turned into 2 black windows that then turned into this. Oh,
That's
whoa, check this out.
probably a cosmic thing, honestly.
Why am I cursed like this? Opening cinematic played okay, and this looks promising other than the weird white line that I have at the left and top for some reason. Is the mouse supposed to do anything?
It's supposed to do something.
Hold on, here's an idea. Okay, so look up, we can rebind that. Let's go left click. Okay. Hey, controller works. I guess I'm gaming on a controller, boys.
So I'm going to install Dolphin. Oh, wait. Dolphin's the name of their, the file manager, right? Oh, speaking of files, I should try to mount my network share. So network, shared folders, SMB. Oh, dude, is it going to find it for me? Whoa, it found it for me. Hell yeah. Add. Can I pin them to the side? Oh, I can. Oh, that's kind of nice. That was really easy to mount my network share. And these are SMB set as default app.
I don't really mess with network drives like that, so.
Hey, there you go. Hey, I set VLC as a default app. I'm feeling pretty decent right now. I have my audio working. I have a game running. I have my SMB share mounted. The most painful roadblock was by far like getting it to this point. A quick recap on what happened with the secure boot thing was I turned secure boot off because I thought that's what it needed when the Fedora drive that I accidentally grabbed from work was asking for it. Then when I installed Bazite, it was, hey, turn secure boot on. I don't have it on, I have your key. But after I installed it, I think I might have gotten a little bit confused or chose the wrong thing when it asks me to enroll it. I needed to make sure that secure boot was on first. And now that it was on when I installed it, it was pretty painless. I do think it's a little weird that they still wanted me to type universal blue when I was enabling the keys. I'm not really sure why. I do wonder how much it'll help me in the future if there's a software or a game that requires secure boot. I wonder if Linus is gonna have as smooth of a time or if his is gonna be a little bit worse.
Well, this is remarkable. I'm up to 3 Steam windows now. Nope.
Yeah, that's gotta be a
After I figured
thing.
out the control issues, we did manage to get through the entire Helldivers mission with no further complications. So while I wouldn't call today a success, it also wasn't a complete failure, and I think I'm ready to do a little bit more Googling, learn a bit more, figure out what the heck is going on with my Steam interface here.
That's cosmic.
Now, it is worth noting that while I am obviously showing a lot of the problems I'm having today, I'm not trying to make Linux look bad or anything, and there were aspects of the experience that were much better. For instance, setting up Pop! OS involved none of my data being given away. And maybe more importantly, if you don't like futzing about with things, is I had to do nothing to get all of my various devices working. No going to the manufacturer's website, downloading drivers, none of that nonsense. The convenience of the Cosmic Store and it being something I might actually want to use, unlike the Windows Store, pretty nice. And so far, I've got to give it credit for being pretty darn intuitive, other than maybe the pressing the power button to reach my settings.
There's a few different
that has like
software
Windows
stores
95
that you
you press start to shut down kind of energy. With
Usually
all that
they're
said,
like
I'm excited about the next month,
desktop
and I hope you guys are excited to come along with us.
They're all pretty good.
If you guys enjoyed this video, why not check out the first episode of the last Linux challenge?
So one thing, and I know he's like newer and everything and still trying to figure stuff out. When you're running a newer game, or just a game in general, you can check ProtonDB. ProtonDB is great. It tells you, he actually referenced the site earlier. I think it was Elijah that referenced it for PUBG. You can come in here and see a rating. Gold means it's going to work great usually, but you might have to do a little bit of tweaks. And you can come in here and see the hardware that other people are using, the Proton version other people are using, and then like what launch options they're using. So you can even go in here and set it to like, you know, if you want it to do that, or like your exact architecture, you know, what CPU you have, what GPU kind you have, and then what distro you're on. And you can have it persist across the site, so you only will see the people using your stuff. So you have a better inclination as to whether it's going to work or not. But either way, that's it. Hopefully this one goes better It seems to be going a little bit better for Linus this time. The other two seem like they're doing a good job so far. But yeah, until then, until the next episode, we'll see you later.